one does any modeling of simply ramping up volumes, using automation to move the material around, using fast curing resins, just by going to larger scale in terms of the piece part production rate makes a big difference. And it drives the cost down immediately from, unaffordable numbers according to the auto OEMs to very affordable numbers. The process of making parts by hand layup, by autoclave cure, or even by infusion methods, if it's low volume production, 1,000 pieces or less, 2,000 pieces or less, you can't amortize the tooling, you can't amortize the press, and you wind up with high costs. And we always wound up with modeling scenarios that showed the carbon fiber was 20% of the cost, 25%, 15%, some small number. And then we decided, if we take 25 out of 85 or 100, we still got 60, and the target's 25. So if we gave them the carbon fiber for free, it's still too expensive. Extremely optimistic. And I've been privileged to be able to work on some projects over the last couple of years with people who were thinking about doing automotive production, observing what the SGL, BMW, Bentler, that group is doing and things like that, and talking to equipment manufacturers and the resin manufacturers and realizing that all the pieces are there. We feel that all the building blocks are there. The high-speed presses are there. I mean, these presses that close fast and then only go slow for the last, few millimeters for the dwell and things like that. The fast curing resins are there. The pick and place robots are there. There are automation experts who will help put together all the handling equipment. And they're already serving the automotive. The press guys are serving the automotive industry. The automation guys are serving the automotive industry. So this is not new to them. It's just the fact that what we're squeezing in the press is a carbon fiber composite. And of course, the other thing that's also on the resin development side is development potentially of thermoplastics to work with carbon fiber. And I think the big breakthrough has been, the concept of get rid of the concept of the whole carbon fiber car and the idea of using the material where it makes sense and hybrid solutions. I think that's going to open it up because you're using your carbon fiber where it makes sense.
Yeah.
The fishing rod guys do this, right? They only use, when they have a 10-segment fishing rod, they only use high modulus carbon fiber in the last 2 or 3 sections, the little ones. It's less than grams of material, but it's where it needs it and it makes sense, so it's fine. The wind turbine blades, they're making a 6-ton blade, a 10-ton blade, a 30-ton blade for a huge one, and they're using 5% of the weight or less is carbon fiber. So they're using just a little bit where they want it so that it makes sense in the overall solution. And that's the way it has to be with automotive applications also. It's going to be a little bit where it makes sense, where it delivers the solution that they're looking at. Competitors in carbon fiber, and there's going to be more. The fish chart is interesting because there's new fish coming into the pond all the time. There are, large chemical companies in every region that want to be involved in this industry. Now that it's becoming mature enough to be interesting for them. And I think, the Chinese, the example was given in the program today. Several people said there's 30 Chinese making carbon fiber or thinking about making. My list has 29 on. So there's 6 or 8 of them that are in serial production. 6 or 8 of them have a 1,500-ton production line and a strategic plan that says we're going to have a 10,000-ton site. But there's only a couple of those that are being commercially successful today. China is consuming 12 or 14,000 tons of carbon fiber last year or this year. They're making about 2,000, 2,500 tons domestically. The rest they're still importing. So they've still got a lot of development to do, but they've certainly got the will behind it. And then we're seeing interest from other Asian countries. You're seeing interest from people in the Middle East. So the Koreans have been new in the last couple of years. The Russians coming on the world scene. The Turks are new. Somebody's chart had it today. There was 8 players 10 years ago, and there's 18 legitimate players on anybody's chart today. So there are new players that have come in, and there will be more. And then there will be consolidation. This is somehow going to be like a pendulum swinging back and forth. So it's always going to be interesting. Projects in Europe and in Asia and in the Middle East and in different places. And everybody has an idea of what they want to do in their own backyard first. And the Indians fall into that category also. So they all have an idea of serving domestic programs, but new demand being developed in their own local country or region. So the Chinese are big on, they want aerospace with the new aerospace programs. They want infrastructure so they don't have such serious problems when earthquakes come. They have China's making 22 million cars this year or last year. 25% of the world's cars are made in China. They want to do that. They want to have ACCC cable, probably violating patents and things like that. But they want to do that. In other regions, they want carbon fiber for wind energy or for CNG vehicles, tanks for cars, because they've got compressed gas fleets and things like that. Or for, in the case of India, for, they start with domestic aerospace programs that they want to develop. They have, big wind programs there. They have infrastructure issues there. In the Middle East, they're focusing first on infrastructure, but also potentially on oil and gas in some of these regions. All along that belt, along the middle of the earth there, where deep water or offshore extraction can occur in various depths. So I think the new players, they want to service their local region and their local economy first. And then, of course, like here, there's government pressure to create jobs, to create, make the middle class more developed and things like that. So it's quite interesting.